What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today is a bit of a special one because of what is in this box. This just arrived from California this morning, so without further ado, 3, 2, 1, the big reveal. It is a camera. It is a Nikon camera. It is the Nikon D40x. So why did I just buy a 15-year-old camera? Well, first off, it was a great deal. I got the camera body, battery, memory card, and lens all for $59.98. So a really good deal on a really old camera. But more importantly, this was my first camera. So 15 years ago, I remember saving up all summer long and pretty much spending every penny I earned that summer on this exact camera, the Nikon D40x. This was my first big purchase in the photography world, and this was kind of the first time that I really started to take photography seriously. And now 15 years later, I've been shooting professionally for 10 of those years. I thought it would be cool to buy my original camera back, and it also got me thinking, how much does skill really play into photography and what your photos look like? It's been 15 years since I initially bought this camera, and I like to think that my skill level now is just slightly above what it was back then. So let's take this camera out in the field, do some shots with it, come back, do some edits, and compare and contrast what I thought was a good photograph back then to what I can get out of this same exact hardware today. So we made it to the first spot here. If you're used to this channel, you're probably used to this spot. This is Lynn Run Park. I've shot here in the past with the R6. I've also shot here with the D40x. There's a waterfall back here that I've shot before. So we're gonna take the D40x, we're gonna try to frame it up. I do have a polarizing filter that is 82 millimeters. So I'm gonna try to just put that in front of the lens, see if that works, and see what kind of shots we can get with the D40x. We have the D40x all set up here. I have my shot composed. We're at about 24 millimeters. And then what I'm doing is taking my 82 millimeter ND filter and just kind of holding this in front of the lens for the 3-second exposure. Yeah, I think it's gonna turn out pretty good. So let's grab some shots and then we'll move to the next spot. So that's a wrap on the first location. I think we got a few good shots. A couple just showed up for an engagement shoot, so I wanted to get out of their hair and let them do their thing. But definitely got a few good shots. We're gonna go to a second location, grab a few more, and then go back to the studio and edit. Has not been my day. We just got to shoot location number 2, and there's another photographer here doing a portrait shoot with a family. So I kind of moved down a little bit, but this should still work. This is a spot that I shot a bunch of car photography back in the past with the D40x. So I have my truck here. I think we're gonna try to get a few cool shots. The sun's starting to set a little bit. The sky's overcast, but still should be decent. So we're gonna try to get like a quick series of shots of the truck, and we'll edit those up and see how they compare to some of the car shots I did in the past. So I think we got the basic shots out of the way. So like some quarter, some front on, some detail stuff. There's a fence right here, so I'm gonna try to kind of incorporate that and maybe try to get some of the foliage in the shots. But overall, decent light, and I think these shots are gonna be pretty cool. We're back in the studio. I have the final images imported and edited in Lightroom right now, so let's jump in and we will go through these. Starting off, we have this, which is, if we look right here, this was shot with the D40x, and this was shot February 21st, 2008. This is the first time I ever shot a long exposure waterfall kind of shot. I'm not really sure what I was trying to do with the color here. I'd say the color's kind of not great. The composition's not really great, and it's really heavy on the vignette. All around, I mean, this was my first ever long exposure photo, but not great. So this is the photo that I just took. So if we toggle back and forth, so this was the photo that I took 15 years ago, and this was same exact camera, just utilizing the knowledge that I have now. So still a long exposure, but I shot with an f8 at 3 seconds, I used an ND filter, and then just graded up the photo in Lightroom how I wanted the colors and look and feel to be. And I would say that this is a huge improvement over this. I also brought in this, which is same exact location. So this is Lynn Run. This was shot with a Nikon D7000 back in 2012. So this is 4 years after I bought my D40x. I bought the Nikon D7000, and this is a photo from Lynn Run. Again, it's a long exposure. You know, we kind of worked with the water here, but overall, the composition, the color, the exposure, I would say is all. It's not great. It's not bad. It's definitely a step up. So this was 2008. And then this was 2012, so definitely moving in the right direction. And then here is the second shot that I did today from the Nikon D40x. I did shoot an f8, but for whatever reason, the depth of field is still quite shallow here. But I would say that this shot and this shot are both improvements over the previous two shots. And then just for fun, this I shot back in April with my R6. So this is the exact same location as this shot is. Just kind of showing off the R6. You can definitely tell that the R6 is more detail. It's just a better overall looking image, but that's to be expected. But I mean, overall, this coming out of a 15-year-old camera, I was pleasantly surprised. Next, we're going to look at the car shots here. So if we look up here at the top at these were all car photos that I took back in 2009. And then these down here are the photos that I took today. And I wanted to kind of lay them out like this because I have no idea what I was trying to do back then color-wise. If you just look through here, I mean, the color, the style, the composition is just constantly changing. So these were all shot at the same time. They were supposed to be shot as like a set. But here we have a bright car, you know, very heavy vignette here. But I mean, the colors are good. Again here, the background was just pushed way too hard. There's some just weird stuff going on here. But overall, the colors are decent. And then the next photo in this series, colors completely shift. I don't know where we're going here. Sky is completely blown out. I would say the composition here is not great. We're kind of focusing, you know, with these leading lines down this fence, but the cars are over here to the left with almost no nose room. And then we go to this photo. Now we went from a blown out sky to a greenish blue sky. The subject's underexposed. The composition's just kind of weird. And then the next photo, so we go from this to this. I feel like I'm focusing more on the sun than I was the car, and there's just all this space over here doing nothing, and just the color difference here. And then we go to the next photo in the set. Again, I kind of see where I was trying to go with this, and I can be harsh because these are my photos, but you know, the shots skewed to the side. I'm focused more on the sun than I am the car. I would definitely, if I would shoot this again, zoom in and kind of just frame the car and cut this out. Next photo in a different location. Again, we went back to green, so now the sky's green again. And then the next shot, which is the reverse of this shot in the exact same location. And now all of a sudden everything's low saturation. Next shot, again, same location, just spinning around, completely blew out the highlights, and all the saturation's back in the image. So, I mean, as far as a set goes, these photos maybe on their own are fine, but make no real sense in a set. So let's look at these photos that I shot today. Starting off with, it was cloudy, so they're all very kind of moody, and that's just a theme that I picked, and I carried that theme throughout all of the photos, which if you are doing a set, you want to kind of find a look or a theme and carry that throughout, so that if you look at one and then you look at the next, or you go back to a different one, they're all going to be kind of similar. And so this is the first shot. I actually just grabbed a piece of grass and put it in front of the lens to get a foreground element here. I would say this shot works better. The truck is sitting, you know, you have these leading lines right here that are winding through the image. I would say that this is probably the strongest of the photos. And then nice little detail shot here of the Ford emblem. And then I went to the other side of the truck and kind of shot this through the fence, adding some foreground interest here. Trucks framed up to the left. Your F-150 badge here sits on your 1/3. I would say the composition for all of these is decent. It's not great. I haven't shot automotive work in quite a while, but going on to the next one, another detail shot here. The truck was filthy, so don't mind that. And then now this is kind of the hero shot, so I wanted the truck framed up dead center. Got low to kind of make it feel big and powerful in the image. And now a quick little detail shot of the interior. And then this shot, I don't love this shot. I think it's the weakest of all the shots in the set. I would rather have the wheels turn the other direction and maybe actually face the truck the other direction. But again, I just wanted to show how editing the photos the same kind of gives you a more cohesive look and feel to the whole photo set. And all of these were shot with this $59 Nikon D40x. So if you are worried about, you know, having the latest and the greatest, and if I just had that more expensive camera, my photography would just be that much better. I think this proves that knowing composition, knowing lighting, knowing editing is far more important than what camera you're using. And that's gonna wrap it up for this video. If you guys take anything from this, I hope it's that having really nice gear is helpful, but not essential. Having the skills and knowledge necessary to take great photographs is going to take you farther in this field than just having really expensive gear. Thank you guys for watching. This was fun to do, kind of go down memory lane, use my old camera again. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in another one.